talking, and it's the day after Christmas. And so Tom and I are the only ones here, like none of you are here. Now, Tom...
I actually thought about you yesterday. But maybe I should dial in. I thought, no, but I remember a couple times we did.
Oh, yeah, the best breakthroughs have always been. So it's either the, Christmas Eve or Christmas, or New Year's or New Year's Eve. I don't know that we've ever had, done a day after Christmas, but, nobody's here. And I'm fine with that. As a matter of fact, Tom and I probably like it more. I mean, we love all of you. Don't get us wrong. But we actually enjoy it more when it's just Tom and I. Tom, why is that?
I guess what I'd have to say is that when you get two weird guys like you and I together, we tend to love each other, so we kind of feed off each other too.
We do. So here I'm thinking, listen, okay, and then I don't know, do I put in little tiny font underneath this here, like listen and observe, okay, the model's been enhanced, and this is why the backstage passes, I tell people, listen, you got to get the backstage passes because, when we do the 7 lessons, it's going to be magical, but there's no way that we can squeeze everything in. And so we're going to be taking a look today at the first few pages of the workbook because I'm struggling. So Tom went through the Personality Masteries course, the Level 1 certification course, and I think, were you doing it when it was live, Tom, or were you doing it on the rebroadcast? It was live, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was live. You were leading it.
Yeah, and so the rebroadcast, Tom, does not have the impact that the live one seems to have.
Well, I think ours is a combination of, because we'd go out and look at a module, work through the process, and then we would have a call with you, and then we would talk about what we learned.
Yes, because you did go through and you did listen to the online course, and then we talked about it.
Right. There was a test, I think, after each of the modules.
Yes. So that's the thing for Leverage. If you take the course, you got to go through with a group of other people because you do feed off. Somebody will see one thing and somebody will see another thing, and they're like, I didn't even see that particular piece. So that's cool. All right. So in the workbook, we're going to go through today the first few pages. So in the past, what I've done, Tom, is people would come up with ideas, and I'd get so excited about the idea that that I would go ahead and then go through and, write like a 70-page workbook. And then nobody would go through it. And after about 6 of these, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not writing any more 70-page workbooks anymore because nobody goes through them. And then, at Coffee Connection. So the thing at Coffee Connection, Tom, that I went ahead and where you were there is I told him, I said, for the first couple years with Tom, when I'm hanging, around him, I'm like Tom would say something, and I'd be like, oh, I get it. And you were never, harsh on me, but it took me a couple of years because I wasn't as good a student, then as I am now, I think, I hope. But one day it dawned on me, and it's like, Mark, you're clueless. You have no idea what he's talking about. You think you do, but you really don't. And so I'm going through this amazing book by Russell Brunson, .com Secrets. And this thing,
really?
Yeah, this thing is, and he's one of the owners of ClickFunnels, and it is the most amazing technology. I mean, I've ever seen. It's crazy. Life Masteries Institute has an affiliate program, so if you're going to get ClickFunnels, get it through Life Masteries Institute, because then they get something on a monthly basis. Doesn't cost you anything more, but go through them for sure. So this is what he said. So I'm going to read from page 64 of .com Secrets. It says, for example, when I taught my expert secrets course, I needed a way to show people that they can make money with any of their talents or skills. So I shared the story, a parable about the first product I created, a DVD about making potato guns. Now, there's a lot to that story that I won't cover here in this book, but it illustrates the fact that you can create and make money selling your experiences or expertise in almost anything. I have other parables that I use to teach the core principle that I want or need my customers to understand. Think about other teachers you've had in the past, those who have had a great impact on your life. My guess is that if they had a lasting impact on you, it's because they taught you by using amusing and memorable stories. A parable is a story about something that happened in your attractive character's life. Most people let life pass them by, and they don't stop to take a note of the interesting things that are happening to them. But you're different. You have the ability to use the things that happen throughout your life to teach and inspire others, as well as sell products. Here's another example of a parable I use almost every time I sell something. My college wrestling coach's name is Mark Schultz. I had just moved into the dorms and gone to my first practice, where I had an awesome time meeting my teammates and the coaches. That night, there was a knock on my door. When I opened it, there stood Coach Schultz. He had brought me a video tape of our own wrestling footage. I thought that was pretty cool, but before he left, he asked for my wallet. When I gave it to him, he opened it up, took all my money out, and handed me back an empty wallet. I was kind of confused, but too nervous to say anything. He then told me, Russell, if I gave you that tape for free, you'd never watch it. But because you've paid for it now, you've made an investment. Now I know you're going to watch it and learn from it. And he was right. Because I had made the investment, I did watch the tape over and over again, and I became a better wrestler because of it. That's the day I learned the power of investment.
Wow. How true.
And so when we look at that, when we look at that, it's the investment. And what's strange is I just realized. So we only have one of the 7 kids at home now. Tim, he's 17, so he's pretty independent. And so Rosanna, she did a great job raising the 7 kids, stay-at-home mom. I mean, she did some help in the, business side and stuff, but really, she's been a stay-at-home mom. And one of the things about stay-at-home moms that I have found is they don't understand how their experience in raising kids, like 4 of our kids own their own companies now. And so, like, my wife doesn't understand her contribution, just like my mom. With 6 of us kids, all 6 of us own our own companies, and my mom never understood her contribution to it. So they don't know how to take the stories of being a mom and take those into the marketplace to make money. So I went ahead and said to my wife, so we got married when she was 19 and I was 20. We went through college, graduated together, and she worked, she had a job and she worked. But I don't know that she ever got a true value of money. So I said, sweetheart, on a way to Coffee Connection, I said, sweetheart, when you spend money, you look at money very different than I do. Like the marketing value chart, Tom, that we've talked about in the past, exchange money. So I said, when you spend money, you like gifts. Like when you give gifts on Christmas, you give something and then you get a good feeling. Like you want people to be happy with that gift. There's nothing wrong with that. When you go ahead and buy food at the store, you expect that. But when you invest money like into yourself, so she's, investing into Master and Monetize, and I think the price right now is like $24 a month, so it's not a lot. But I said, when you're investing that into yourself, you don't expect what I would expect if I was investing $24 into myself. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like you're investing it like most people invest into college. And that is, you gain knowledge and you give them money. When I invested into college, it was my own money that I'd worked through high school, slaved away. I worked really hard, cleaning toilets. I was a custodian. I worked really hard for that. So I worked for my college education to make money. And so I said, when you look at making money from money, it's a totally different way of thinking, and very few people on the planet know how to think like that. As a matter of fact, the only people that might know how to think like that might be entrepreneurs. I don't even know if business owners think like that, because business owners are different. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I start companies. That's what I do. From nothing, come up with a concept. Like you had mentioned a few weeks ago, Tom, where you're like, Mark, you come up with these ideas like out of nothing. Where my other brothers, they buy companies and run them. And it's a totally different understanding and a way of thinking. So in the workbook, one of the things we've been getting feedback from people going through the backstage passes is there's some, like Bob Donnelly, like he's getting it. Like he just, boom, he gets it. I think he's 73. So he just gets it. Like he understands. He's starting to connect the dots, and he's getting it. But there's other people that are part of the course. They're not getting it. They're like, I don't understand what this means. And I'm thinking, what do you mean you don't understand what it means? And so I was talking to Peter Miles. So here's the workbook. So when you go through the course, you got to have a host, and then you have to. So that's somebody who starts it. So that's kind of the core person who starts the concept. That's like the entrepreneur. And so, you could say that's me, whatever you want to say. Then you have an art mentor. And then you have 2 art buddies. So there's a saying, if you want to really learn something, teach it. So when we're teaching our 2 art buddies, and this was actually created when Emily and I were working on bringing peace to the Middle East. It's the atomic ripple reaction tree. I'd been looking for it for over 3 decades. It's so simple, it's insane. Everyone in Leverage has a mentor, an art mentor, and everyone has 2 art buddies. So when we have 2 art buddies and we're mentoring them along, we think we're helping them, but they're actually helping us more than we're helping them. They don't know it, and we often don't know it. So what's your most important thing of what you want to accomplish from Leverage? You put it there. So if you're not sure, then you talk to your art mentor. And then you help 2 art buddies. So the art mentor is the one that helps you to figure out what you want, which most people don't know. It's coming from Discovery Learning in Life Masteries Institute. It's having like Tom, so he had knee surgery, and he's got, how long are you laid up, Tom?
Well, I can get around, but so far I feel like a caged tiger because I can't drive.
Right. So how long do you think you'll be before you kind of get back to?
Probably a couple weeks.
Okay. So most people, whatever they would do, they'd sleep or they'd go ahead and Tom, how old are you? You're 70?
70, yeah.
Yeah, so Tom just turned 70 this year. So most people, like at 70, like Ralph Miller, one of my mentors, when he was 70, mid-70s, I think, and his mom was like 95, 96, 97, traveling all over the world, and she said, Ralph, I just imagine, Ralph, you know what the problem with old people is? And he's in his 70s. He reverted back to childhood. you know what the problem with old people? And he's like, no, Mom, what's the problem with old people? She's like, they're lazy. And so,
yep.
You know, and so Tom, he's laid up. So what he's doing is he's studying his dogs.
I didn't start doing it that way, but that's the way it kind of ends up.
Right, like he's got this insatiable thing. So both my parents passed away. My mom a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half. My dad 2.5 years ago. And so I was trying, like I built a project just to go ahead and try to save them, because you know the last 5 years of their life, it's like, you know, they're just like, yeah, they're ready to go. It's like, you know, I have no value. It's like, really, Mom and Dad? Like, really? And so, anyways, so your art buddies, you mentor them. So you go in and mentor them. And so there's a short welcome. So you can read that. I won't have to go through and read that. And then, you know, we're on version 1.02. So then, you know, honestly, one of the biggest challenges for individuals taking Leverage, the course, is that people aren't sure what they really want to accomplish specifically. So let's start out with something simple and easy and build it to something more complex. So the first one is a simple exercise. What is one of your biggest challenges or problems you're currently facing, and or what would you love help on in any area of your life? And you just write that down.
Okay.
Do you think that's simple enough for people, Tom, or is that too complicated?
It seems pretty simple.
So every time, you know, I don't know if you and Peter just, you know, mortally wounded me when you left me out of your little club, when you said you were normal and Peter said he was normal, and then I said, yeah, I'm normal too, and you both laughed. It's like, what? Like, how come I can't be in your club? So now I'm recognizing, like, I'm not in anybody's club, so I'm just like, okay, I've got to make sure that people, like, understand it and get it. Now that you...
So let me ask a question, Mark. So
yeah.
It's when you say, what is one of your biggest challenges / problems? You know, I think a lot of people think, oh, my God, this has got to be something really big, like I wanted to be a doctor or something. You know, maybe if I'm just...
So an example?
...spitballing here. Pardon me?
Just put an example.
Well, or something of, you know, is there anything in your life that you've always thought about doing that you haven't done yet?
Okay, so that's the next one.
Oh, okay.
So the more advanced exercise, so I think you're right. I like this. So it's like, example, I don't have enough time. My kids exhaust me. You know, my teenagers frustrate me. So it's like the simple exercise is trying to get people, like when I was talking to Peter last week, is trying to get people to get a quick win out of Leverage. Like, it's helping them to say, it's not something huge, like what have I ever wanted to do in my life that I haven't done? That's probably going to take a fair amount of work. You and I are okay with that because you and I really, I think, are great students. Like we're like two little boys, like 3-year-old boys playing in a room together. Like, it's so fun when it's just you and I. But I don't think...
Maybe if you just give them a couple of examples like you just did.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll add. So that's going to be version 1.03. Now that you have a challenge or something specific, next is to think about how all the different ways you can leverage to help you move to a solution. This hasn't been proved yet. Talk to your art mentor and your 2 art buddies about this. Share your thoughts and get their thoughts. What are the best 2 ideas you will get started on today? So what we're trying to do, Tom, is get a quick win.
Right.
So people build some confidence. They're like, okay, I think a lot of times what's weird to me, Tom, and do you have to run now?
No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think the thing that's confusing to me, Tom, is that it's the weirdest thing I've noticed in the last couple year probably. And that is, people make things simple that are complex and make things complex that are simple. And I don't know if I figured out why, but I'm narrowing in on it. So here's, it's just something simple. So I think your examples, I think it's great. That way, that's good. And then the more advanced exercise, think of a bigger challenge or something you really want, which is a long-term goal. Now, I did put examples in here. Maybe what are some dreams or goals you have had in the past, but maybe lost sight of? What are some things things that maybe seem impossible to achieve, and write those down?
Good.
And then, now that you have something challenging, next is to think about how all the different ways you can use leverage to help you move to the solution. Talk to your art mentor and your 2 art buddies about this. Share your thoughts and get their thoughts. What are the best 2 ideas you will do to get started? And then it talks about, honestly, the goal of both of these exercises is not to solve a challenge or a problem. It's to learn to think differently. As long as we are alive, we as human beings will seek to achieve greater success, and we will have new challenges, problems every day. When we learn to have a mind which automatically thinks differently, thinks as a mind of leverage, that is when we will see even greater success. So then we talk about the DNA for life: see, think, and do. And so we're going to go into the bonus session here because Tom has a little time, as do I. And so again, I hope you see how just 7 minutes can change your life, just how 23 minutes, like you don't want to miss one of these. Like I'm just saying, like it's not like college where you can miss a few classes and it's okay. Like it's not like, if I show up or if I read a book and I miss 2 or 3 pages, it's not that big a deal. Like everything that we do is intentional for your benefit and our benefit too, like we're growing together. So we're going to have a 5-second pause and jump into the bonus session. Here we go.